Hey, this is my quickly assembled microwave gun out of a microwave transformer. And I've tore 8 or 10 of them apart, but this is the first time I've made a microwave gun. Just mounted on some wood. But if you're ever going to do this, which a lot of you guys have microwave transformers, and if you take a transformer or a microwave apart, make sure it's unplugged. If the high voltage parts, that's what I use. What you use for this is just the high voltage guts of it. Always make sure that the capacitor is shorted out. Short out the 2 posts of the capacitor with some pliers with some thick plastic or rubber. Make sure that sparks off, because those things will bite you. They'll hold a charge for months. Trust me, I've been bit. They have teeth. So that's that part of it. It's wired up basically like it is in the microwave, but I've took a lot of them apart. As you can see, I got a whole bucket full of capacitors. But the point is, I can show you guys how to do this. If you don't know how, you just hit me up on the site here or email me. Run through the way it works real quick, which kind of runs back to my theory. The transformer puts out 2,000 volts AC on the secondary winding. This other winding is the small secondary winding. It just puts out like 6 or 8 volts, and that's what the magnetron's actually plugged into. And I have other magnetrons here. I'm going to show you more on that in a minute. But the capacitor has a diode that grounds to the ground, to the power system. Your return line, your ground, not your neutral, but your ground. What that does, that causes this capacitor to be a voltage doubler. And that's because of the flyback. Just like this flyback transformers from a CRT TV, one of the regular tube TVs, You can get high voltage out of this thing, but it uses flyback. And the flyback, this does the same basic properties as that flyback transformer, and I can show you on my theory shows why, the good vibrations, but my demonstration on proof that gravity is magnetism shows why this works. And I use a magnet to do it. Why the south pulls the current with it, and the north causes flyback. But anyway, the diode's grounded, and it's on this leg that goes parallel with one of these 2 out of the transformer. The small 6 volt or 8 volt transformer winding is connected here. One of those is connected with this, and the other one goes straight into the magnetron. So it's like one of these is connected with this, and the other one's connected to the other side of the magnetron. And then your high voltage goes into this side of the capacitor by itself, and then your diode is grounded with the one that goes to the magnetron. But anyway, when the AC shoots the voltage forward, it goes through the diode and grounds. Then when the AC pulls back, this acts like a charge doubler, and it shoots 4,000 volts in both directions, back through the line, but it mostly goes here, into the magnetron. So the magnetron won't work unless they have an AC version, without this basically turning it into DC, just like a flyback transformer in a CRT TV. Works the same way. It only works off the charge on the flyback. It won't work off the charge without the diode. This might, but you won't. I don't think you'll get the magnetron to fire without that 4,000 volts. It works as a voltage doubler. The CRT flyback transformers do the same thing. It's a voltage doubler. So anyway, caution, anytime you take apart a microwave, make sure this is grounded, make sure it's unplugged. Anytime you're messing with this stuff, every time you fire this up, you have to short that across or it'll get you every time. Now, some of them have automatic discharges that are supposed to discharge by themselves as soon as they're unplugged. Don't trust that. Trust me, I've been bitten by one that was supposed to and it didn't. It still worked, but it didn't discharge itself every time. So anyway, then your charge goes through and you get to the magnetron. I put this cover on here because there's a plate here inside the microwave that the magnetron mounts to, but you got to take this little box plate thing off the inside of the microwave. You can make your own, but it's easier to just take this off. And it's got one angled side on the bottom at 35 degrees. 35-degree angles, all it works. And if you notice, I just have a little slit cut here on that 35-degree side. That is because magnetrons do not put the microwaves out the nose of the antenna. They come out the sides, like loops coming out the side of this. And don't break this white stuff or pink stuff, whatever color it is. That is boron, I think. It's very cancer causing if you get any dust of that in your lungs or you touch it and it gets broken, dusty, and pieces. Don't break those. I've torn many of these apart. I don't break those. But anyway, the magnetron puts out sideways in all directions, this way, you know. So when that beam comes out of there, it don't come out forward. It comes out sideways. So this 35-degree angle, it hits that and bounces forward. I wish there was to make 35 degrees on all four corners, but they would probably cancel each other out in the middle out here. So that's why they just use one side. There's no other beams, microwave, to cancel out these coming out. And then you can make another box off of this one with 35 degrees of this angle continued, and it's supposed to give you more distance on your bouncing of the waves. And I haven't tried that yet because my experiments, I don't need anything any farther away than right near it. But anyway, I also took a cooling fan that was mounted in this same microwave, just mounted it here to keep the magnetron cool. I don't run mine but for a few minutes at a time. And you don't want to be, you know, right directly in front of this when it's blowing out microwaves. You really don't want to be around anything that's bouncing off and coming back. Try and keep them going away from you, like outside or in a direction inside a wooden box or something where they can't bounce around and come back and get you. They really won't hurt you that bad, but they could. You know, mess your eyes up, mess any part of your body up if you get bombarded by them too much. It's like x-rays, you know, but not as powerful. They can hurt you. But anyway, that's that. Safety, that's what it is. And I'll go on to show you kind of how it works on a neon bulb. Like I said, anybody wants to know more about what I've made here, hit me up on the site. Email me or say something on the comments. And we'll move on to showing you it working. And I'll fire it up. And you can see it glows the bulb good ways out. And it gets dimmer as you get out here, but it still fires it up some. Good ways away from it. You see, once I get this started, I can get about 4 feet away. 5 feet, it's still glowing, see? If I take it out there, it'll quit. And when I come back in, it won't start glowing until I excite them real close. Then when I get them excited, I can go farther out with it, see? So it's hitting them out here. Still bouncing. I need to make a 35-degree angle cone off that small output there. But it's a wicked little machine. Like I said, I can get 5 or 6 feet, but I have to get them excited first. Once I let them get de-excited, it won't light up out here. I have to bring it in and start them, and then it'll stay lit. That's because my 35-degree angle, I don't have it coned out far enough. Working on that next. Anyway, thought that was cool. Okay, I've got this magnet that come out of a magnetron, and I'm going to put it between the light and the magnetron and show you what happens. And the magnet gets hot. It gets really hot. But watch what happens. If I put the magnetron there, give me a minute to turn it on. Okay, the gun's running, but the light won't light with the magnet. If I move the magnet, the light lights. If I put the magnet back, it dims it, but it won't quit. So the magnet stops the magnetron from starting the excitement in the gases. But once it's started, then they keep going like I've moved it away. If you notice, it's dimmer. And I've turned it back off, but the magnet gets hot. I can't even touch it. It's so hot I can't touch it. But if the magnet's in there when I start it up, the bulb won't light. It's absorbing all of the microwaves. It's absorbing them. And I can turn it sideways and it'll do the same thing, but I gotta let it cool off. But I'll show you that. Okay, now I have the magnet turned sideways, where it's north on this side, south on the back side. Gonna split this way between them. And watch this. Magnetron on. Now I've tied a string to the magnet, so I'm gonna lift it, and then it happens. If you notice when I put the magnet in here, it pulls to the magnets in the magnetron, but it really messes with, see how the light gets that far out there? If I drop it, it's dim as long as the magnet's there. I can lift it and it's bright. Then it's dim. Anyway, even out here though, it's not just blocking them, it's deflecting them. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I wanted to show that. I wanted to show you here that the heat, the magnetron, or the magnet's still hot from the heat, but it chipped my magnet. Just a touch to it, chipped it. And they're hot. They're still hot. I just took it off there. It chipped big chunks out of it, if you can see them. Big chunks of my magnet. That's how quick it got it hot, just in a few seconds. So anyway, the magnet was absorbing the heat, or the acceleration of the microwaves, and it heated it up quicker than it would anything in your microwave oven, you know, or more so than in the oven. This was out in the open. There was no bounce around from a containment unit. So it chipped my magnet, and all I did was kind of swing it, and it hit the corner of the magnetron unit putting out, and it chipped it that easy, that quick. Unbelievable. Just chipped it. Didn't even, just barely touched it, and it chipped. Anyway, that's how much this absorbed the heat out in the open. It wasn't bouncing around inside a microwave. This is worse than a piece of bacon or something hanging in front of it. And I'll do that, a piece of meat or something to show you, but the magnet is accelerating gravity into itself and around itself. It absorbs those microwave waves, and it just heats up quick. Unbelievable. And we'll move on. Now I'm going to take a piece of steel, just a piece of regular steel, and the magnet's still pretty warm. I'm going to put it in front of the light right here. See, the steel is there, that piece of steel. I'm going to turn the magnetron on. It will not light the light because it's blocking it, which is what the magnet did. But the magnet got hot. The steel doesn't get hot. And turning it on. Magnetron is running. I'm behind it, shielded. I'm letting it run. Still letting it run. Still letting it run. And I'll show you, I'm still letting it run. Drop the steel. It's running. See, I moved the steel. It's running. I'm gonna shut it off. And the steel is just as cold as it was when I put it there. Maybe a wee bit warm, but you know, it's not even warm. It's just a little bit warmer than it was when I put it there. So the steel really didn't absorb them. It blocked them, bounced them off. The magnet is still hot. Well, it's warm. And it broke it pretty good. Broke quite a few pieces off of it, if you see that. Another chunk came out. The magnet absorbs the microwaves because it's accelerating gravity, and they came in a little faster than what this needed. It over accelerated it. Ta-da. Okay, you saw what the magnetron did to this magnet. I mean, it got it so hot that I didn't realize it was that hot. When I picked it up with the string, it just swung and hit this, and you see where the red paint smeared on here, but that's how it cracked. Cracked it like that with just, you know, a little tap. I just tapped it like that against it. But this got hot no matter which way I, you know, laid it towards it. North, south, north and south, long ways. This kept getting hot. But when I put that piece of steel up against it, wouldn't get hot. And then when I found out, well, let me show you this first. So then I took this little other rare earth magnet. That's what these are, rare earth. I took this guy, you know, I put him flat and he got hot. I turned him edgeways like that and he still got hot. Hot, real quick, very quick. But what is weird, well, not weird, I'll explain why. I took all these neodymium magnets. I took this long one, I stood it up, laid it sideways, laid it long ways, never would get hot. I took this round 1-inch sphere and, you know, set it north-south any way I could, and it never would get hot. And I did the same thing with this little 1/2-inch sphere, and it wouldn't get hot either. But if I put a screw, you know, a small steel screw on any of them, the screw will get hot. Which I guess the microwaves hitting the screw get it hot, but it doesn't the magnets. Well, I have half of a, it was a cylindrical magnet, but it's broke, so it's got a real flat side here. And it doesn't have any chrome on it. At first I thought maybe the chrome on the Neos was causing them not to get hot. It was bouncing off the chrome, or possibly the cylindrical round shapes of the spheres and the cylinders. I thought the microwaves were just kind of bouncing off of them. So I turned this one flat on with the beams, and it wouldn't get hot either. So the conclusion I've came to, these are N42 Neos. That's what I have is N42s. You got N52s, and you got other ones that are higher that you can get. They're more expensive. But what I've come to, I think what it is, the magnetic power of these rare earths is very slight, small. You know, they don't have much power. So the acceleration of what I call gravitational acceleration, gravity is the source of magnetism, it's the source of energy, electric currents, everything, according to my theory. But anyway, these accelerate it so slow that the microwaves are accelerating faster than what this is accelerating. So it heats it up. It gets in there and heats it up. Because the microwaves they're light waves, right? It's light. So the light speed of a microwave to a rare earth magnet is more quicker and more powerful than what these rare earth magnets put out, what they're capable of, what they do. But N42 neodymium magnets are at a higher rate than a microwave. A microwave, when it comes at a neo, is absorbed because this is running fast as or faster than the speed of a microwave. That acceleration for these two pull together and hold, especially Neos, is at least the speed of a microwave, because these will not get hot. They absorb microwaves into their rotation and magnetic field without raising the temperature of the neodymium material. As to where rare earths, the material gets hot because they're not accelerating their gravitational magnetic field as fast as a microwave hitting it. That's what I believe I found out. Like I said, I've tried this one edgeways, flatways, but edgeways I tried it real small edge, got hot as can be in just less than a minute. I've put these under there in every configuration you can think, Neos, and they don't get hot, no matter how I put them in there. Now, if I put a screw onto one, a metal screw, the screw will get hot, but the magnet don't. So, I don't know. I think that's the speed of the acceleration of the magnets. This test has showed me that these are slower because they're weaker, and the magnetron gets the material hot. These are faster and they're stronger, so they absorb the microwaves in their magnetic field, whereas the microwaves don't even actually, hit the material enough to make it get hot. It's absorbed into the rotation and acceleration of the magnetic field. And, on YouTube, you can see guys cooking bacon, cooking marshmallows with these things. I'm not going to do that. That's not my interest, burning things up so much with this. I'm going to move on to some other things, but I wanted to show you this with my initial experiments with magnets with it, what I found out between rare earths and neos. Thanks for watching.